We are live, I think. You guys can hear me? Let's see. We get people coming in. Hey, Sean. How you doing, man? The first guy in. Maybe first and only guy that's gonna join, but how you doing? Christian Gonzalez. How you doing, bro? Our people are popping in slowly. Shoaib. How you doing, man? Prajwal. Hopefully I didn't butcher your name, but how you doing? Riju. Walaikum salam. How you doing? Funny. Yo, Rachel, hi. Yahya, my man Yahya. What's good? Hitaki, Roman. Anybody seen GME? I have not seen GME. Love your channel. G Grow. I love you too. Yahya, alaikum salam. Happy Saturday. Yeah. The weekend is here, guys. I'm pretty excited for it. So, yeah. Nagalu, how you doing? Wolsa, Candy, Jack. Man, so many people. Happy Saturday, guys. Yeah, I'm smiling like yesterday because, of course, I really do like doing these live streams. So, how you guys doing? Derek, what's up, man? Dallas, Colin, represent. I've actually been to Texas. I love the state. I like that it's warm all year round and you don't get snow like we do. I live in the Midwest. So in the United States. But yeah. Did you get into DHI? I don't know DHI, actually. The ticker doesn't ring a bell. ZOM. Yep. A lot of people have been talking about Zomedica a lot. Ohio, okay. Yeah, not too far. Ohio, ready to invest. Hello from California. Rose, how are you doing? Taboki, my man Taboki, always quick to joining the comment section in the videos. How are you doing, man, Taboki? Rockstar, how are you? Rick, I'm just gonna greet everyone as they come in, and then we'll get to talk. Hey, Shoaib, thank you so much, man. It's been crazy, guys. Literally, I started making my videos again in December. So if you guys didn't know, for all the ones who are in so far, my channel actually started out as an underrepresented. So Your Pursuit of Purpose, Yourpop, Your Pursuit of Purpose started out as a podcast. So I made a podcast where I had underrepresented minorities get in and talk about their stories. So I had individuals that I knew from, childhood, others who were very successful in their fields, who came in and would share their stories on camera, and we'd have half-hour, 45-minute interviews. And that's how Yourpop actually started. And I got to about 2,000 subscribers doing that, and I really enjoyed it a lot. But then the pandemic hit, and I couldn't make videos with people anymore. Since I'm, respecting social distance measures and what the CDC has in place for all of us, I decided to maybe take my channel a different direction. And then I started making these videos about stocks because I've just really been interested in investing. And ever since then, really, things have just been blowing up. Literally December, I started making my videos again at 2,000 subscribers. In a month, we're now at over 11,000, which is just mind-blowing to me. Like, I am so shocked. So I appreciate all of you guys. I don't know, you guys really have been killing it, because without each and every one of you coming back and watching, following, the standards of the YouTube algorithm that no one really understands, just my videos getting to places that I never thought it would. So again, I thank you all. Thank you. So next week buys. Right now, honestly, guys, I kind of wanted to go back and look at, because a lot of people on YouTube lately have been kind of addressing this pump and dump phenomena. So I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about that a little bit more, and how, yes, some influence does cause stocks to rise, that waxing and waning. It can make something go up and then kind of trickle back down after people take profits. But the big thing that I want to kind of focus on this stream is some of your guys' stock picks, and also some of the ones that I've talked about in my channel since December and how they've done. Because I think whenever, again, this is not financial advice. The channel is never about financial advice. Rather, it's educating each individual on how to really look into a company, how to decide whether a stock is a good buy versus a bad buy. And really, when it comes to my stock picks, I kind of always look at, innovation, right? Like the Cathy Wood, I guess, whatever you want, the Cathy Wood direction, if you will. So with her, I kind of try to always look at what is she doing, because she's doing it very well. But instead of putting my money all into an index fund and ETF, yeah, for my job they do offer me like a retirement account, right? So if you guys don't have Roth IRAs or IRAs in place, individual retirement accounts are very safe and very good. Just again, so you can have some money when you retire. But the big thing is, what you need to realize is that's not going to be substantial. Over time, you're not going to be making fantastic gains. But when it comes to, I'll touch on some of those. Sorry, I keep reading the chat. I will touch on some of those things. But when it comes to, generally speaking, if you want to make significant amount of gains, you have to look for individual companies that you truly see a value in the future. So some of the things that I've talked about in the channel so far, and I'll just go back and open up YouTube here, and we'll go through one by one. Let's see. If I go to my videos. So I'm just going to take you guys back to literally the first video I talked about on my channel. So I talked about NEO and Tesla when they were Tesla was around $500. NEO was around, I don't know, $25, $30 range, somewhere around there. But I was like, maybe it was in the 40s then. And I was like, guys, these are companies that I want to buy and hold. So because again, they're innovative, the EV space in general is going to magnificently increase over the next 2 to 3 to 4 years. If you truly believe in that technology. If you don't waste your money in it, because again, it's not really the smart thing to do. So I always talk about companies that I truly believe in long term. I also talked about Lazar, LAZR, laser, which is the luminar technologies. So that's the LiDAR technology. That was my second video. And with laser, I told everyone, don't buy yet, because it was just skyrocketing after the SPAC merger went through and IPO'd. It became way too expensive. So I actually started a position around the $30 mark, and then we saw it kind of trend up and then kind of back down thereafter. And until then, until now, really, we haven't seen much of a significant change in there. So, and I will touch on some of the things you guys have mentioned, like AUPH. Yeah, I do think we're going to see some significant price action next week. Although there's this whole thing about it being halted, and we'll talk about that. But BFT, PaySafe, it came up in conversation yesterday. I talked about PaySafe on my channel. Again, this was December 7th, 2020. That was at $12. A lot of people were saying, what are you talking about? This is a SPAC. It's still speculative. Yes, SPACs are speculative, guys, because a merger can fall through. But I was looking at my risk. A $2 risk in a stock is insignificant to me. So, thinking again, the reward versus risk ratio, right? That's how we always have to assess something. For BFT, when Bill Foley, hey, Michael, welcome to the chat. When Bill Foley announced that he's going to be looking for, a strong company to merge with, and then ended up choosing PaySafe, I was like, this is a no-brainer. At $12, I need to buy into this company. A lot of people are talking about it now because, of course, the merger date is approaching, which it's not too late. I don't think it's too late by any means. If you're interested in it, you believe in the technology, it has a lot of room for growth. But again, I try to look at these things early on, so I buy it at a value that I think is going to significantly increase in the near future. I know, Shellen, you're not late. But yeah, so BFT I talked about early on. NGA, Northern Genesis Acquisition Corp. I talked about it back in December, guys. It was at $14 at the time. And then everyone was like, it's a SPAC, overpriced, overvalued. But Lion Electric as a company, they have electric buses out there, guys. They have products in the market. A lot of these EV companies that are popping off in the currently are very, a lot of them are just very speculative because they don't have a product in line. Like, let's look at Nikola, right? I'm sorry for all those who've invested in it, during the peak, I think $70 or so. But it came crashing down because, again, they have poor management, other things like that. But a lot of these companies, Hyliion, they might make a recovery. It's going to take time. But people realize, yes, we were chasing hype. We were chasing, what they might call the EV bubble. And there was really no basis to these investments. People were just putting money in when there was really no product in place. But sure, they had a vision. So if you do believe in a company's vision, then it's not a bad idea to put money into it. Early adoption is important. And someone commented on one of my videos, yesterday's video, or this morning was it? I can't remember. It was the one about, the penny side that has 400%. I think it was Michael Scott. Michael Scott said, you mentioned, who was it? Warren Buffett. What Warren Buffett said. And that is, he spoke about, he wished he could go back in time and put money into some of these low cap small market cap penny stocks that have potential, because a lot of people see them as get in and get out, which by all means do so if you want to make quick money. But oftentimes, when you buy into these companies like Sensionics, I can never pronounce that one. Even things like, I don't know, Zomedica, JAGX, Jaguar Health, all these small cap market cap companies, or even SPACs that are early on and before the IPO process. These are companies like Open Door, ticker symbol OPEN. I bought in early on because I was like, this company has some potential. And other than Chamath being the fact that he was managing the whole SPAC and the SPAC merger, I was like, this company has some true potential. So again, we buy into these companies thinking in 5 or 10 years, where are these companies going to be? For day traders, swing traders, things like that, obviously that's not your vision. But for me, when I talk about a company, for the most part, sometimes I do talk about quick money grabs, easy in, easy out, right? Quick in and quick out, especially for these pharmaceutical companies, because sure, their revenues are going to increase after they get their FDA approval, and that oftentimes happens. And we don't know when the next Pfizer is going to come out, when the next AstraZeneca, the next Moderna, right? These big companies, because once they have a product in place, that increases the revenue that's coming into their companies. Once you have increased revenue, that means you can increase your R&D, your research and development. And when you can do that, more products are going to be hitting your pipeline, and then it just starts going. Go back 40 years, 30 years, whatever, in the 1980s, look at Pfizer. I wish I, again, was sharing my screen, but I'm just going to put up Pfizer stock. So if we look at Pfizer stock and just look at the max, back in January 30th, 1981, Pfizer was 99 cents a share. 99 cents a share, guys. Today it's at $37. So it went up 37x. Again, because these were companies that had literally probably nothing on their pipeline, or only things on their pipeline, no products in place, and they were undervalued, and therefore slowly but surely they started making their way back up. So yeah, let's keep talking. Sorry, I'm gonna drag out a lot, but let's look. Thank you. I'm very, very happy. Yes, we did hit 11,000. $10,000. I want to put in each penny stock 1,000 in on Monday. Yeah, I don't. You guys are crazy. That's a lot of money you want to put into penny stocks, guys. I play penny stocks like I will potentially lose it all. So I never put that much money. Again, I don't know what kind of money you have, overall. If you're a multimillionaire, I understand, but if you're not, that's a lot of money you're risking. So be careful, man. Please be careful. Let's see. Thoughts on BB BlackBerry. BlackBerry they came out of nowhere. BlackBerry, popped off again after we all thought, oh, the cell phone company, they have failed. They have failed. But in the last 6 months, if you look at the 6-month chart, or let's just look at the 1 year, they came down to about midst of the pandemic, March, when the market crashed, $3.18, $2.90, up 400%. Because again, people started looking at it as BlackBerry wants to now, not only they're not worried about the cell phone so much, because again, we go back to the BlackBerries. Now they want to integrate their software, and again, the science that they have backing, because BlackBerry, they have pretty decent technology, so they want to integrate them, and there's some big potential contracts that they're going to sign with some of these EV companies, some of these EV car companies specifically. So let's remember that. IDEX is coming up a lot. Guys, I never invested in IDEX. I want to look into it, but I haven't yet. So yeah, let's see. Tesla. Daniel, you are the man. Tesla. My Tesla story is everyone told me not to buy when it was overvalued back in September of 2020. I bought in at $320, and I was like, forget it. I'm putting my money in. I believe in Elon Musk. I think this company is going to go long. And all my friends that told me not to buy into Tesla, to this day, cannot find an entry point because it just keeps going up. And I think that's all we're going to continue seeing. Tesla's going to be one of those that is going to double again, triple. Who knows? But for me, I am holding on till I retire, in 40 years or so. So I'm not rushing at all. Ludicolo. Welcome to the chat, Hassan. Michael Scott, I heard rumors that BlackBerry could merge or be acquired by a different company. That could be, maybe, again, if you want to buy the rumor, if that happens and then they end up, going into the 5G market, because that's hot right now. The 5G market is pretty hot. So if that happens, we know where that price is going to go. Oh, man. The chat is busy. Fubo. Hold on, let me see what they're saying in the. Let me close the Discord real quick so I'm not. There we go. Okay. Yeah, you guys are funny. CLWD, my neighborhood pharmacist. Mark, my man, welcome. By the way, is the microphone better than yesterday? Because I realized I wasn't using the right mic, so I hope it sounds a little better than yesterday's stream. Fubo TV. Let's talk about Fubo actually, because I'm invested in Fubo, and a lot of people were like, "What are you doing?" And finally, it's made its recovery, slowly but surely. Not back to where it was at the $60, but I bought in at 30. That's when I made a video about it, and I thought it was still undervalued. So I told everyone, "Yeah, the stream is a lot more slick." Thank you, Michael. That's awesome. Yeah. So when it comes to Fubo TV, I'm holding long. Again, this whole sports betting thing that they're potentially going to be getting into, again, speculation around that area. But really, when it comes to Fubo, the fact that, their customers, their revenue is just ramping up very, very quickly and at a very solid rate, I really think, we're going to see significant price action through 2021, 2022. So this is one of those that I bought and parking in there. Hassan, thank you for donating there. That was really unnecessary. I don't even know what to say. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'm not. I did turn on that money thing again. Hassan, thank you. I appreciate you, but I did mention that it's not a must. But people on the Discord were asking me to next time I stream to turn it on. So it's open. And I still need to figure out a way to give back to everyone. So I truly believe in giving back, not only through videos and helping you all, hopefully one day achieve financial freedom. Although I'm not doing this for financial advice, but I'm just trying to figure out how to give back to you guys. If it's financially or something. But we could talk about SENS since you popped it up. Sensionics. So let's pull up their chart. I know I'm not showing my screen, but if you guys want to do the same and follow along, make this a little more interactive. SENS. Let's see. I bought in last week. We did see a wonderful run up in the aftermarket. But Sensionics, this one here, guys, has some potential. My friend Dr. Dean Investing, guys, if you haven't subscribed, go to him. He is one of those. He can, so we don't have to pay for it. Yeah, I'll never charge for Discord, guys. Just side note before I get into Sensionics. I know a lot of YouTubers and people who have, this platform who share, they want people to pay for certain things. And I personally just disagree with it. I know at some point it might get out of hand to the point where there has to be some type of filtration, but I don't know. For right now, guys, I really just want to be able to share all my stock picks with you guys for free. And I want you guys to, just so we have like that dynamic, because I truly think that's how it should be. Share the love, because you guys are sharing the love showing love with the channel. So Sensionics, guys, let's talk about it. Significant run up in price. So a lot of people were talking to me about why this company has potential and why it doesn't. So for me, what I truly think with Sensionics is that it has some magnificent potential in the near future. I think that we're going to see significant price action as long as the company continues to do well. Now, during the pandemic, if we look at let's just look at the 1 year, we saw pre-pandemic, they were at $1.60, $1.50, and then they came crashing down to about 57 cents, and even from there to 39 cents, 38 cents. And that is because here in the United States, they have some things going out in Europe. They have products, people have products out there. Sensionics has their CGM device, the glucose monitoring system, implanted in patients in Europe. Now, the United States was going to hop on. They're going to hop on because it did get FDA approval, but the big thing that happened during the pandemic is that elective surgeries were discontinued. They said if things like, rhinoplasties, or, if you want to get a nose job, if you want to do knee replacement, hip replacement, shoulder, whatever it might be, they turned all of this off in the US because they said if it's not necessary because of the pandemic, we don't want people to have in-office visits, nor do they want them to have any type of elective surgery. Because of that, people could not get the implanted device. Because again, although it is an outpatient procedure, it's something that you go into the doctor's office, it takes 4 to 5 minutes. They'll put the CGM device in, put a Band-Aid, you're done. It's minimally invasive is the term that's used. So that affected their financials. Their revenue substantially went down, but since then they've done some direct offerings. Let's not forget, since then they've done some direct offerings. So we saw the 50 million direct offering that they did of their common stock 2 days ago. And then 3 days ago, it looks like they were initiating. I mean, it was at some point some number, and then they increased it. So regardless, if you look at their revenues between 2019 and 2020, there was a significant decrease, which makes sense because the pandemic, a lot of companies were hit. Now, if you're long on these companies, and you truly think that they have some strong potential, we're going to see it rise back up. And it's already past the pre-pandemic value, which is great, but I think we're going to continuously see it rise. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys my 2 cents and 2 pieces on that, because I truly think we might see significant price action. So yeah, let's get rich together. Hey, Joe Rogan, I appreciate you. Sends us wealth building journey, just in time for Sens. Yeah, so I'll give you guys my 2 cents. I'm holding on to Sens. New listener will be judged on GMI and NNDM. Jonathan, I appreciate you, man. Really, guys, I can't thank you enough. You guys already showed the channel so much love. But you said new listener will be judged on GMIA. That had significant movement last week. I'm not in. And NNDM. Well, since again your comment is highlighted, let's go ahead and talk about JMIA. Is it Jumaya? I don't know. The marketplace company. So Jumaya is an online marketplace for electronics and fashion, among targeting several African countries, but headquartered and incorporated in Germany. That is so interesting. So what caused it to pop last week? Why shares of Jumaya? Let's see. Let me just look into this here. But it says that if we look, shares of Jumaya traded up to more than 10% midday Wednesday. I love reading the Motley Fool, guys. That's always my go-to. BHTG. We'll talk about it, guys. Let's go one at a time. But here for Jumaya, traded up more than 10% as a midday after a prominent investor, best known for e-commerce, African e-commerce company, is poised to go higher after a great holiday season. The midday move is so. Again, if you're more interested in international e-commerce, again, this is it's such a unique niche that they have. Obvious fraud. So Jumaya 2019 was targeted short seller. Citron's research, which is an obvious fraud. The stock is both up 500% the last 12 months. So I don't know enough about it, but I can talk a little about NNDM. But again, with Africa, yeah, I think if you're interested in international trade, keep this one on your radar. You guys know what I always say. Don't chase the hype. Don't chase the run-ups, because things will cool off and go down. Don't get burned. It happens way too often to all of us. So let's just be careful with our stock purchasing, our entry points. I know I need to start discussing entry points in the channel, because I don't do that enough. A lot of people say, because all I say, I'm pretty ambiguous. I say, don't get in on the stock at this price. It's overpriced. Wait for it to cool off, maybe at this price or that price. So yeah, that's what I think. But NNDM, amazing. It is doing its thing finally. So I talked about NNDM at $6.50 on the channel. And since then, it's pretty much ran up approximately a little more than 2 times its price. So it's run up by 2x, which is just amazing. Like, it's really doing well. Kathy Woods adopted it. Again, if you think 3D printing, what I talked about in my channel is the fact that it has all these different and very unique applications. Not only will NNDM's 3D printing device print out things that are for tech purposes, but also for me, that a thing that interests me is healthcare, prosthetics, prosthetic hearts, valves, whatever it might be. One day, an artificial pancreas, I don't know. The applications are vast, and NNDM definitely wealth building journey. 100% agree with you. NNDM is a long-term hold for me as well. So don't miss out on these opportunities, guys. These companies are also young. 2.98 billion. Again, not financial advice. Do your research. Look into it. But NNDM, who was it, Joseph? Thank you so much for bringing it up, because I truly think that this one has some fantastic potential. So I'm all about it. Love NNDM. So what else do we got? PRQR. Don't know that one. Same as Tesla story. Joe Rogan. Oh, rest in peace, Joe Rogan. You mean Larry King? Oh, I don't know. That was random. I was like, did he actually die? Larry King, rest in peace, Larry King. I just heard that he just passed earlier today, like maybe an hour ago. EXPR, guys, don't chase the hype. I talked about Express stock at $1.30. It's doubled in price since last week. That's just ridiculous. I talked about it in my channel because I told you guys I saw the abnormal trading volume after some of the banks bailed them out and they gave them the $140 million bailout. Uh, that caused that caused its trading volume. I looked at it in the pre-market and I was like, what is happening? What's going on? So if you look at the even 5-day or the 1 month chart, I talked about it $1.03 and I said it's run up to $1.40, $1.30. Still a little overpriced, might be a little overpriced. And guess what? It did dip back down. So anyone who got in at around $1.16, congrats, you've doubled your money. So I think that again, post-pandemic, a lot of these retail stores, retail companies are going to recover. It's just going to take some time, and it's not something that's going to be quick, but there is going to be some sort of recovery. Although e-commerce and online businesses are slowly growing, I still think there's a place for companies like Express, the retail stores. People like going to Macy's, all of those. So I have some investments, Nordstrom, so don't forget about some of those as well. BHTG, guys, we saw this one exponentially go, well, not exponentially, I shouldn't say that, let's be honest, but it went up. In the aftermarket, it had a pretty nice run up of about 8.5%. Well, we talked about it at $1.40, and I think that's around when I bought in. The next day, it went up to $1.60, went up about 15%. And since we talked about it, guys, we're up 25%, 35% in a few days. I talked about this a couple days ago. So BHTG, I am personally long on. Price targets, again, I don't like doing price targets, but at $40 million market cap, if they're able to secure some contracts, secure some, they have impressive partnerships. Again, I mentioned federal government. I mentioned some hospitals with their sanitization product that they have, the big sanitizer. So those things that they have, big potential there. But again, for me, BHTG, over the next 4 years is what I want to see it. I want to see how it grows that way. I'm not rushing to short sell, unless we see it go up to $7, $8, like, next week or in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be silly if I don't take some profits. And I always tell you guys that. And on Discord, I try to say when I think it's a good time to sell. But typically, I just say, this is my buy price. And if we do significant increase, then I'll also sell and take some profits, because that's silly to not. AUPH, the guys, AUPH, Aurinia Pharmaceuticals, they got their FDA approval for the product. Pretty excited about that, right? I don't know if any of you guys have the chart, but unfortunately, and oftentimes the FDA does this. Whenever there's an approval, it's not going to be announced till the aftermarket, just like earnings reports. Oftentimes, big companies don't announce their earnings till after the market closes. It's smart. It makes sense. Like it's logical, but they definitely do that. So yeah, we're going to see significant price movement. It's people, Wall Street, everybody's going to see that it had this run up. And because of that, we're going to see the price of the stock go up. And my assumption, 17, 18, 19, 20, I don't know. But I think, again, it's going to be significant enough. Maybe not right away on Monday. We'll have to see. And take your profits. If you double up, even if you're up 30, 40%, take your profits to decrease your risk, right? I don't want you to risk, because again, it could be that it's super exciting, and then 1 month down the line or 2 months down the line, some patients start receiving the new treatment for lupus nephritis, voclosporin, can't even pronounce it. Then we might see, if there's a bad reaction happens, right? A lot of drug companies then have to recall their product or something like that. So I always say, play these stocks correctly. Be careful before you commit money into it, because again, you have to make sure you're not only just buying this because of the hype, but you believe in the actual product that they're making. And again, as a treatment course for patients, if it truly does hold up to, again, if the FDA approved it, it's pretty reasonable to think it's going to do well over time. But again, you might have to be pretty patient. So it all depends on what happens. So that's AUPH. But again, just be careful, be careful, be careful. EXPR. So Express, way overbought. I'm not touching Express anymore. I'm not going to average up at all. Again, when I made my video at $1.30, now it's at $2.40. It's went up a lot. So let's keep talking. Let me scroll up a little. Wow, you guys are talking fast. I wish I could read faster. APH, Jazz. LAC, your thoughts? I only focus on these. Plug, FCEL. Jonathan said, been long at NNDM for months. Would be a mistake not to take JM. Next tip. Has been nicknamed Amazon of Africa. Has a road to profitability. Jonathan, I'll definitely look into JMIA because I truly think you have something there with it. But let's talk JAGX, Jaguar Health. Yeah, yesterday we addressed this in the live stream, but the SPAC merger announcement / official information is going to come out Wednesday, the 27th. So that's the big day like I have on my radar. And I'll, of course, make a video as soon as I find out more about it. But if that ends up happening, we know we're going to see significant price action with the stock. We bought in at $1.70, I think is when we first started discussing JAGX. So I'm hoping we see continuous movement. You know, we saw it peak, then kind of trough a little and consolidate around 330, 320. But we'll see what happens after this approval or after the SPAC merger and everything like that. Maybe more people are going to start believing in the company and more people are going to start being long about it. Yeah, I don't know about GNUS, ATOS. A lot of people have been talking about ATOS, but I think they have some. Again, that's a pharmaceutical company, if I'm not mistaken. ATOX stock, but it had a significant run up. ATOS, right? ATOS stock. Mara, we'll talk Mara. That's one of the ones I put you guys on. Unfortunately, I said wait for a pullback, but still, I've lost some money in Mara, but I'm not selling. Personally, for me, I'm not selling. I don't like selling at a loss, especially if I think something can recover. But yeah, Atosa Therapeutics. So I know they have the topicals, if I'm not mistaken, guys. ATOS has some topicals that are on their pipeline. The biofilm, let's see where it is. Let me try to find it real quick. But I know some of the things that they have that are in late stage clinical trials seem like they can have some potential, for the future. And it's only $130 million market cap. Wow. Yeah, that's small. But I don't like to see, since last Friday, $1.19 a share, it's went up a lot, 70%, 60-70%. So for me, ATOS, Atosa Therapeutics, I need to do a deep dive and look at their product that they have on their pipeline. But I think anything that's topical, non-invasive, guys, that is the direction we want to head to in general. Again, in my pharmacy, as a pharmacist, my patients, I know for a fact, would rather take a topical than an oral pill, 9 times out of 10. For example, people who have arthritis or arthritic type pains, they prefer, there's a medication called diclofenac, Voltaren, and I'm sure some of you have heard of it, but it either comes as a tablet form or you can just a rub-on that you can apply directly at the pain site. So the elbow, shoulder, the knees, sometimes the neck. And I know more often than not, I see people going for the topicals instead. So because of the fact that they have that on their pipeline for ATOS, I think it has some potential. Now, I don't know about the current price though, because again, I don't like things that have these significant run-ups because we don't know when the market's going to decide to take profits, pull back. Because when the big dogs do that, the whales, if you will, start taking profits, that's when we see, oftentimes a significant drop as COVID spray. Oh, that's right. Ali, thank you for your comment. I could read Arabic a little bit. My Arabic is meh. I try. But yeah, Ali, you're right. They do have the COVID nasal spray. So I need to definitely look more into ATOS. For all of you who've bought in before this last week's spike and increase in price, congratulations. That's awesome. Saad, wa alaikum salam. How are you doing? Please talk about JE. But as a pharmacist, I'll not buy. I get you. CCIV. Okay, I saw that way too often. So let's stop for a second. CCIV. So I talked about CCIV on the channel at $14. And I said, guys, you know what I like to do? Although it's speculative, sometimes it's fun to play with. So I did buy in at $14 thinking that maybe this Lucid Motors deal goes through. I've already mentioned, if the SPAC deal goes through, with Lucid Motors' potential and valuation, this stock is going to not only double, in my opinion, it's going to triple. It's going to quadruple. We're going to see $60, $70, $80 price target. And again, we'll see what happens because this all could fall apart. And all this rumor was brought about with the internet and there's nothing of it. Because again, there's a lot of rumors, but we see that all the news about Saudi Arabia, right? They're going to start manufacturing some of the Lucid Motors over there because again, they're backed by Saudi Arabian sovereign wealth fund. So, if you guys know about Arab money, these people have a lot of money under them. So, so we'll see. Luxury cars make sense over there. Or it can go to 10. Exactly. Or it can go to 10. So I don't want to be a hype beast. Or it can go to 10. So that's Dr. Dean has entered. Hey guys, the guy that I've been talking about, Dr. Dean Investing, he has entered the chat. So for all of you who have not subscribed to Dr. Dean, please go back and do it, because again, he talks about these biotech stocks at a level that is just amazing. It's so much higher than when I speak about some of them. So follow him. He's a medical doctor. He's a professional. But again, he doesn't do it for medical advice or financial advice, but he's very good at picking stocks. So welcome to the chat, Dr. Dean. We appreciate you being here. Yeah, Sensionics. Yep. Sensionics. So yeah, let's see what he said though. Dr. Dean mentioned, talk about the CLII, planning to merge with EVgo. I did see that. So the CLII, I saw that and I freaked out because I was like, holy smokes, this stock is flying. So the SPAC merger was announced with EVgo, one of the biggest charging infrastructures and stations here in the US, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't done my deep dive on it at all. But guys, I think that, we did see with the EV hype and everything that's going around, it ran up too high for my comfort. So personally for me, I'd rather wait for a pullback. But for anyone who knew about this early on or, was going to invest, let's see, just trying to pull it up here. CLII. Let's see. Dr. Dean. Let's go up. Sorry, I'm looking for, it's two eyes, right? For some reason, it's hard for me to pull up the company when I try to look up CLII. But anywho, we did see significant price action with it, which is just, to me, makes it risky. It's at 22.47. Yeah, that's crazy for a SPAC pre-merger. But oftentimes, again, look at Northern Genesis acquisition. Look at Open, which was IPO, one of the IPOs with Chamath. We saw Tesla, GM, Nissan partnerships. Yeah, that's true. They do have some really significant contracts and partnerships. So with that being said, with the EV hype that's happening currently, we could see this continue running up on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So if you truly believe in a company, and what I always say is, don't be afraid to potentially buy in at some point, find an entry point that you're comfortable with, and then average down if it goes back. Because again, what do people do that believe in companies? When they see a dip, they buy more of the shares. If you don't believe in it, you sell your shares at a loss, and then you get upset. So if you don't believe in EVgo as a company, don't buy into the SPAC deal, because again, into the SPAC, the CLII ticker symbol, because we did see it run up, so it could potentially cool off. Look at IPOE. A lot of people were saying, oh, IPOE, it's merging with, was it SoFi or whatever it was? I'm trying to remember now, IPOE. Anywho, it came up very quickly, and it's quickly cooled off as well. So we saw that in the 5-day at $24, and then it kind of came down about another 10%. So could have waited for a pullback. And I always say, wait for a pullback if you're more comfortable with with an entry point that's maybe a little cheaper. But if not, average down. Ahmed, welcome from IC. I see you over there, man. It's good seeing you. OBSV. Your thoughts on Swedish? OBSV and Swedish. Oh, I don't know what the Swedish part is, but OBSV, guys, I know it was announced on JT Wealth's channel, and after she did so, people are saying, a lot of people viewed that video. Over 200,000, like almost 250,000 people watched it, and because of that, unfortunately, due to the influencer factor, we did see a significant run up, 100% increase, because it's a low market cap stock. And we see that oftentimes, unfortunately, with these lower market caps. So we did see it run up to about 450, or no, I think it was maybe a little higher than that. But since then, it's come back down. Yeah, it's $5.02. So it did cool off to $4.24 in the aftermarket, a little bump. But again, I talked about it in my channel, and I did start a position. The big guys, the Wall Street analysts saying, what they have is their price targets for it in the $20 range, $22.50, I think is the average price target, if I'm not mistaken. That's significant. And people don't understand with pharmaceutical companies, guys, the thing I need to stress even more on the channel is that we will see increases in their price as more and more of as they get closer and closer to completing their clinical trials. And then other catalysts include NDA application submission, approval from the FDA, of course, that's an obvious one, but that's what happens. So you go in to these pharmaceutical companies knowing that they're high risk, but again, very high reward as well. So we need to always keep that in mind. So again, don't put too much of your money. I always say, be careful with your money, respect your finances, because you don't want to put in even $10. Why even 10, 100, 1,000, whatever it might be, any of your money to something that you don't believe in. And because when it comes down, you end up selling at a loss, and that's that. Then you get upset. So I can't stress that enough. Thoughts on Zomedica, COM. So Zomedica has been a hot topic. I know it's been something that's been on everyone's mind. And we saw it kind of dip down a little. It's consolidating 95 to 97 cents, peaked at $1.40. And I talked about it at 40 cents because I thought it was at a good value at that price point. So that's when I bought in. Barry, thank you so much for joining the family. But regardless, guys, what we need to understand about Zomedica is it's not one of those stocks. I don't know why a lot of people decided to buy when it was, over $1.50. Although it does have potential in the next few months, there has been a lot of information coming out that I guess I didn't really have at the time about some of these other point of care tests that are available for veterinarian offices. And some of these vet offices already have these things in place, but not to the same extent. Like Zomedica sure has some superiority over others, some of the conventionals, but I truly do think that it has potential in the future. When the true forma gets commercialized, we're going to see an increase in the revenues. So we'll see what happens. I'm long on it. I'm not in for a get in and get out quick money grab, if you will. I'm more just looking for a long-term hold for, at least till March. If we see a significant price increase, I'll sell again when people start buying in the news, and then restart a position at a much lower price point because we'll see a dip more likely than not after the commercialization until some earnings reports come out the next quarter. So again, if that was end of March, the 31st, they played it smart. End of Q1, Q2, right? Because they're announcing and commercializing their product on the 31st of March. That is just brilliant if you ask me, because if you start commercializing a product at the end of a quarter, you have between the next day and the entire quarter to hopefully get your product out there, start selling, sales, increase your revenues. So when your earnings reports come out, looks really good. So come end of Q2, beginning of Q3, when they have their earnings reports, we're going to see some massive increases. And then that's when Wall Street starts to eyeball it and say, might look into that one, might increase a position in there. So that's my thoughts on Zomedica. And again, not financial advice. That's what you guys, Ahmed, are you in NEO? I am in NEO. Joe, I bought NEO early on back in September when I bought Tesla because I had, X amount of money to invest. So I put in some in Tesla, not knowing what's going to exactly happen because a lot of, again, my financial advisors at the time were all my friends. And they were telling me, Ahmed, it's too high, it's overbought, it's too high, it's overbought. But I was like, no, you guys are the naysayers. And those same guys to this day, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, are still looking for a entry point because it just keeps going up. Elon Musk, it's not just a car company. Tesla is not just a car company. It is something that is looking to innovate. They're changing, they're in alternative energy, the solar panels. It's an energy behemoth. So I always say I'm long on Tesla, holding my shares for the next few decades. I hope nothing crazy happens between now and then. Because, volatility is still going to be there with this company. Because Elon is a controversial guy. I like him a lot personally. I think he's a genius. But again, you have your own opinions. But NEO, same thing. My average cost for NEO currently is at $17. So I bought in one of those earlier adopters. When I first started making, some income, I decided I need to start putting money into some of these. Yeah, Wadud, welcome. Wadud, the Tesla guy. Yeah, we're growing, man. I'm really liking these live streams, doing them here and there. But yeah, bought into NEO. I've been trying to identify a point where I can average up. So I'm waiting for another offering or something they might do that might create a decrease in their price, in their stock value. And I'm hoping we see that. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited about NEO. I'm long on it because if we look at it, I always say, look at it in like 2030 vision, right? If we look at something 10 years down the line, that if you look at it from there, we're thinking, 2025, 2035, we hear about these, they're, especially in China, they're banning gas powered vehicles. So when we see these things, we need to understand electric vehicles. Sure, we could think about other types of alternative energy vehicles, but EVs are the big ones. And I think they're here to stay, and we're going to see them grow massively. And we saw in China right now, NIO is what, third or fourth most sold vehicle? That's crazy. So the potential is there. Rico, Pierre, man, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I don't know what I'm going to do with these these donations you guys are giving me, because I think I'm going to create a pot or something and give it all back to you guys. So I appreciate you all. Trying to still figure out what to do for hitting the 10,000 subscriber mark. We're growing so fast. So I really appreciate you guys. Rico, thank you, man. I appreciate it, bro. Let's see, Royal. Are you in BTC? Bitcoin and Mara. Yeah, sorry. I've been saying I'm going to talk about Mara, which is the mining company that I told you guys about a little while ago. And unfortunately saw it dip back, just like the entire cryptocurrency sector. So Mara, I think I discussed around 20, I want to say the $21 range. So I started the position as soon as I made that video, and we saw it decrease significantly, unfortunately. And that's because cryptocurrency, there was this whole SEC thing that's going around, but I have a very small portion of my portfolio isn't cryptocurrency. Not enough for me to ever get upset if it crashes. But hi, and welcome, Farm D. But really, when it comes to Mara, I'm holding long. Like, again, it's not one of those that I want to just sell out, because I know I'm pretty sure it's here to stay. You do your own research, do your own due diligence, of course. But if you think about it, cryptocurrency, it's something else. Like, if you think about it as a universal currency, if you think about that and embrace the idea, you might think to yourself, wow, that's something else. And there's some very strong videos out there and articles about cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, just getting money from point A to point B. Imagine going to an airport, right? And not having to exchange your currency, rather being able to just use your currency when you go to a different country, when you travel from point A to point B. For me, I'm from Sudan. When I travel to Sudan, I always have to do these conversions for my money, US dollar to Sudanese pound. And it's not an easy process, because there's, taxes, all these little things. But if you have Bitcoin, you take that money and it's going to work anywhere. And again, it's electronic. It really makes sense, because fiat currency, what is it? What are these dollar bills that we carry? It's something that's controlled by the government. Now, I don't want to get into any type of conspiracy or anything, but yeah, that's its own thing, guys. So Bitcoin, again, very small portion of my portfolio, but I truly think blockchain and crypto, especially Bitcoin and Ethereum, those are the two that I'm personally invested in. I think that they have some strong potential in the near and long-term future. What is this? Domesticated Manners. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I'm hoping to buy some new equipment or something so you guys could see me more clear. I should show you guys my setup, but it's kind of embarrassing. So I appreciate it, though. Slowly but surely. PTE. People have been asking me about PTE quite a bit. So TRXC. Let's talk about that. Even though, as I mentioned, Dr. Dean, a lot of the things you guys are talking about in the channel, Dr. Dean has mentioned in his. So TRXC is the surgical robot. And I did buy in, but I sold, guys. I didn't mention on my channel. I didn't put it in. I didn't talk about it at all, because it was more speculative. I didn't know too much about it, but I saw Dr. Dean talk about it, how excited he looked. So I just decided to put some money into it. But TRXE, it's had, significant price action, but I know there's a lot of controversy about the company. And because there was this whole, I don't know, I'm not sure exactly the details about it, but at its current price, I think we might see a cool off. Jonathan, I'm just having some trouble with Streamlabs to share my screen. So that's been the big issue with it. I tried to do it today before I started streaming, but it just kind of glitched a little. It might be a PC issue, but I promise I'll only get better and better with this whole streaming thing. And slowly but surely, I'll have my screen so you guys can watch with me. But as I switch screens, I'll try to share it via RS. Resilient to corruption is a huge benefit of blockchain. Absolutely, Wadud. I totally agree. But TRXE, what is it? Sensionics, maybe is how you pronounce it. But this company, again, guys, it has some really, really cool, really cool technology. So again, if you want to hear about the deep dive, Dr. Dean did a really good job talking about it. So please go watch his video if you want to learn more. Personally, I bought in early. It was like higher $1 range. Ended up selling at $3.92 because I just saw that as a not only a double up, but a double up plus change. And I was like, oh, it's probably going to crash, which it did. It came back down. Could have found another entry point, but it's exciting. They have some really, really unique technology that I think is pretty magnificent. So keep that one on your watch list. If it presents some entry points and you truly believe in the technology, try to get in on it. Because I think for the long-term future, especially the fact that they peaked at around $70, if we go back the 5 year, $76 and currently at $3.71 after they just had poor financials and other things that were wrong with their fundamentals. But they're slowly but surely, it seems like they're picking it back up. We saw some pretty recent articles that are potential catalysts for this stock. So I'm pretty excited about it. We got to do better. Colin, I appreciate you, man. No, man, 55. Oh, he's getting the likes up quick. Thank you guys for always liking, sharing. I don't know. I'm just I'm a guy who's a pharmacist. I'm not even a finance guy, so I don't know too much. And maybe that's what makes this a better dynamic for all of us, because I feel like a lot of people who watch my videos are also new to this whole investing thing and just learning about it. So appreciate your help and advice. How high do you think JAGX will go? No idea for a price target. I'm just waiting for all my catalysts to reach their points. I just see these companies that I saw them as great buying opportunities, and they've been doing really well. So I want to make a video on my track record so far of the things that I've talked about, because either I'm really lucky or we're just getting some really good picks in. So more likely than not, probably pretty lucky. Yeah, my wife just looked at me like, So again, companies that I really appreciate. Recruit me to get your screen sharing working. Well, dude, I will. I just need to maybe use a different platform, because I've been using Streamlabs OBS. That's what I use as my recording software for my videos, which just makes it where I can share my screen and my camera on the bottom. But for some reason, when I try to transmit that on YouTube, I'm having difficulties. But I'll get it down. I promise you guys we'll have it. Karen, I think I get it. PSYC. It seems like you really want to talk about that one. So let's see. So now I have to look up AITX. There's so many tickers, guys. CJ, just straight with the slam. My dude. Okay, PSYC. I'm just going to look at it. OTC markets. Guys, unfortunately, for me, yes, I like to talk about penny stocks, but anything in the OTC market, if it's not on the NASDAQ or NYSE, if it was ever delisted, or if it's something that, wasn't able to, I don't know. Basically, if it was delisted once before, or if it's something that's in the OTC market, to me, just makes it way too high risk. So I don't actually trade in the OTC market. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't mean you guys shouldn't, but I personally don't. So I'm sorry, Karan, if that's how you pronounce it, Hanada, but really, I don't want to look into the company unless it gets listed on the the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange, because that's when to me, they meet some sort of regulations. They have some fundamentals that allows them to stay a viable company over the long term. So I'm sorry. Thank you for sharing, though. Don't touch OTC. Giovanni knows what's up. It's just risky. It's the likelihood of you losing all your money when you invest in something in the OTC market is high, or quadrupling or 10xing your money, also possible. So high risk, high reward. Plug Power. I bought it to plug at $13 a share, guys, because actually my brother and I were talking about this company early on, and we were just like, they have some strong potential. And we saw that they secured a South Korean deal, $1.5 billion deal, if I'm not mistaken. And since then, it ran up like crazy. At $13, it's performing pretty much as well as NEO did for me. Again, hydrogen fuel cells, I made a video on it. My video was made, I think, at the $23 mark. So if you bought in at the time of the video, you have 3x your money. Congratulations, because they have some significant technology. Now, although I keep saying like all the good things that I've talked about, there are some stocks, 2 or 3 that I've talked about that are down 5%, 4%, etc. Salam, can I have EL before earnings? Thanks. Can I have APLLE before earnings? There's a lot of big earnings next week, by the way. Tesla's announcing their earnings, their Q4 earnings, a lot of different companies. Apple, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm really excited for next week's earnings, especially for Apple and Tesla. That's the reason I mentioned them. Well, dude, appreciate you, man. I like the little the hype sticker. Thank you for supporting the channel. I appreciate you, bro. You are the man. Libya. Oh yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah, I am from Sudan, guys. A lot of people have been asking where I'm from. And I know I said I'm gonna do a little bit of a Q&A, but we didn't really do much since everyone wants to talk. Everyone wants to talk stocks, which is also exciting. Can you explain the Apple hype? Didn't look into it too much. So the whole Apple Apple car, that's kind of what's been, lingering around, and people are pretty excited about it. But of course, pre-earnings, the iPhone, every year it just seems like it consistently does well. Apple Watch, just their products are there's so many. iPads, whatever it is, after Black Friday, especially when it comes to Q4 earnings for these kind of companies, that's why I don't want you guys to, sleep. I don't want you to forget what happens in Q4, Thanksgiving, Christmas. I'm looking directly at your eyes because we have to think about those things. Gift giving, right? It happens during Q4 of each year. So what do we see? Look at, historically speaking, what happens when Q4 earnings are announced. Guys, we see it time and time again. Retail stores, Macy's, Nordstrom, Express, all these companies that people have, that have been hit super hard during the pandemic will potentially have a significant revenue increase from previous quarters. That's going to make their stock price go up just because it was Q4 is through the holiday season. Now, other sectors don't do as well because they go under shutdown during Q4. So remember that, especially for all of you who have not invested in Macy's, who have not invested in, all the companies that are the retail stores, right? I don't know, Walmart, who knows? The list goes on. But if you haven't diversified your portfolio from all these biotech and all the things that I've been talking about, really, I know I talked about Express a little while ago, but diversify your portfolio and pay attention. Before earnings are announced for these companies, more likely than not, they're going to do very well. So you can make a very significant amount of money very quickly. So don't sleep. GEVO, almost got a 1 to 2 on hand. Yeah, I bought into GEVO at I want to say the 850 mark, so it's doing really well. WSB GME is comedy, but it does show the power. Coordinated retail traders. Yeah, GameStop has been a behemoth. It's just been a beast, dude. I don't know. For all of you who had options, or I don't know. For those who were just putting out calls against GameStop, I'm so sorry because it's just blowing up, and I don't know when it's going to stop. I have not invested, full transparency, nor will I put any money into it. But my goodness, it is going pretty crazy. Unless it cools off a lot, but we'll see. Express had a run up. Yeah, I talked about Express around $1, and it's now about $2.70. I want to say so. $1.40, I think, is when I mentioned it. Alaikum assalam, Muhammad. Welcome. Man, I've been live for 57 minutes. That's crazy. As a pharmacist, do you know anything about Covaxin? That's actually a new one to me. I wonder if is that a chemo drug? I need to see. It might be a specialty. I don't work as a specialty pharmacist. So I get my attention as a pharmacist. Covaxin. I wonder what it is. It's an immunological. Okay. I don't know much about it. Oxygen biotechnology. Co-develop Covaxin. A whole viron inactivated COVID-19 vaccine for U.S. market. Interesting. I don't know much about it, to be honest. At my pharmacy, personally, we've been focusing a lot on don't short GameStop, you will lose your shirt. Robert, good thing there. But when it comes to the COVID vaccine, currently in the United States, there are 2 that we're all getting. And we're actually going to be administering them at my pharmacy. That is Pfizer and Moderna, period. We're looking for AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson, and Oxford as potential ones that are going to be coming out here soon. But Moderna and Pfizer, up to this day, are the only things that are being utilized. Now, I know I heard about the Moderna scare with the neurological side effects that people are experiencing. So you guys probably saw the lady who had convulsions. Actually, that was Pfizer. But Moderna, a lot of people have been having significant side effects. And I'm not scaring anyone away. I'm going to get vaccinated soon, but not yet. So, do what you got to do. But as of right now, those are the only two that we have, and those are the only 2 that are available for us to even order. but I could look into the other one some other time. GEVO. Yeah, BHTG, GEVO. A lot of these renewables guys. Wow, I am just super excited. Joe Biden, literally executive orders. First thing that he did the day he got into office, he signed 2 of them that had to do with the environment. So let's remember that for anything moving forward. Trump put it aside. Biden is putting it right straight ahead. So remember that, guys. Super, super excited for those. GEVO got in at 160. John, congratulations. You are a winner. You are a winner. QuantumScape never got in, but yeah. Again, the solid state battery, that's the big thing right now. All these battery EV companies are huge and people are super excited about them. So let's keep riding this wave and don't get greedy. Take your profits as you make them on their way up and keep going. Reduce your risk, because most of you, if you were into this EV space since the summer, you've more than 2, 3, 4, 5, 6x your money in multiple different plays. So please take profits, but keep holding long term as well. The smart thing to do. AITX. I'll look at it in a sec here. AITX. I think you're the second person to mention it. I did buy AUPH. So I bought before the FDA approval announcement, just because, again, I looked at their clinical trials. Everything looked very solid to me. So I was like, okay, this might be a no-brainer. So I ended up buying in. I put it on my channel just so everyone's aware. For some reason, YouTube demonetized it. So I don't know, maybe controversy. But all I did was I shared the facts. For all of you who got in, congrats. If you didn't, no big deal. There's going to be millions of other plays on the way. So EXP, World Holdings, stock split. I don't know much about EXP. It's actually a new one to me too. I keep saying that for a lot of things you guys are saying. Sorry, guys. I wish there was a way to highlight comments, because I keep going down and then go back up, going down and going back up. GSAT got in at 55 cents. Yeah, we'll probably end good night. Yeah. We'll probably end the stream pretty soon, because I've been on for an hour now. But really appreciate all of you, for all the ones who donated for the channel. Thank you so much. I am planning to, just use that strictly for probably equipment. A new microphone, since a lot of people have been saying the microphone I use. So I have the one that's attached to the headset, but I actually just use this for aesthetics because I like how it looks. But the one I actually use is the Blue Snowball. This is my microphone right here. Just so you guys are aware. It works well. I used to use it for my podcast and everything, but just so you guys know. Should we buy more? ZOM currently holding 2,000 shares. Mohammed, I would not, personally. That's a lot of shares that you have. So I'd see what happens. Again, hold what you got through. We might see the price go up as time goes by. But personally, for me, I'm not increasing my position size. Do what you got to do. If you're long and you believe wholeheartedly in the company, do what you got to do. So yeah, we talked about Express. Express had its run up quite a bit after the bailout. So if you get time and you do research on PAX, it just IPO'd on Friday. Yeah, I can look into PAX, Leon. Let me just write it down so I don't forget. Decent. I guess Wall Street wasn't super impressed, but yeah, we did see some decent price action. So it's pretty cool. So guys, yeah, and I always say, I never tell anyone to buy or sell stocks, but I'll tell you guys what I'm doing. And for Zomedica, I am not buying any more shares, just holding on to what I got. So just be careful. Be careful. If you made money, by the way, sell some shares to take profits. I always say that. Don't get greedy. Sell shares to take profits and hold on what you're willing to lose and risk. Remember that. Check capsules. I don't know too much about it, guys. I haven't done really a deep dive on it, but I could look into check. EXEL, also something I could look into. CCIV, we mentioned earlier. Zomedica. We talked about Zomedica. CCIV. So again, just waiting to hear that announcement. When it happens, if I catch it early enough, I'm going to increase my position size, but I'm very happy with the position I have currently, especially if it's going to take us to the moon. Podcast. Yeah, I used to film a podcast on the channel. So that was the original Your Pursuit of Purpose. The Yourpop idea came from, it stemmed out of a podcast. Eunice. What about Obiva? Certain things, they will have hard time getting approval since they are similar in the market. So Eunice, thanks for the comment. So I really, when it comes to a lot of these pharmaceuticals, and let me see, Obiva or Upsiva. Is that what you meant? OBSV, Eunice? Maybe. Yeah. So I think really the big thing with Upsiva right now is not the fact that they have. I think it's the COVID sticks. Let me go into them because I'm confusing a lot of these companies at this point. But Upsiva. Let me go into their website quick. Oh, the reproductive women's health. That's what it was about. So that is true. There's a lot of things that are like it. And I think it's linzagolix, the uterine fibroids. But currently, as an oral agent, what they have, in their pipeline in phase 3, that makes it pretty innovative. So I'm not sure. Maybe Sarah knows something I don't, because again, I don't work in specialty pharmacy. So for the most part, I don't get to see specialty drugs. But linzagolix, this one here, I think it's actually unique for the uterine fibroids, and that's the one I'm super interested in for both the fibroids and used in endometriosis. So by its mechanism, I don't think there's anything that necessarily is the same. Maybe there is, I just don't know. But what I saw just from the little research I didn't go too deep into it. And then I looked into, again, I was trying to figure out why these analysts were rating it so high. But yeah, it was significant enough for me to say I'll put in some money into the stock and also make a video about it, because I think it's a pretty cool opportunity, even in the short term. And then some other things they have on their pipeline are pretty exciting too. Oral oxytocin receptor antagonist. Some of the other mechanisms are pretty cool, but the GnRH receptor antagonist. So the big thing with Yaselti or linzagolix, Eunice, is the fact that this is an oral agent. So Sarah's probably right in that you can use, there's some IV injectables, I shouldn't say IV, but injectable formulations. And I mentioned those on the channel. But this here is an oral agent, which gives it some advantages just because of the formulation that way. I'm going to end the stream. Get some rest, bro. Joe, I'll leave soon. But Taboki, how is the schooling to become a pharmacist? I'm looking into it. I don't want to bore anyone, but I did say we could do a little bit of a Q&A. But yeah, I mean, really, pharmacy school wasn't too bad. It wasn't bad. It was just, some days were longer than others. And again, you have to do, significant amount of studies. But really, if you have an interest in science, if you have an interest in pharmaceuticals, drug design, that kind of thing, I think that's what will make it worth it, especially those long nights of studying, because those will come. And, I did enjoy it. Some days were worse than others, but for the most part, therapeutic classes, all the back, I enjoyed those. So long-term gains. Joe Kennedy, bro, I don't have that info. Give me all the prices, Tim. Stock market is mainly supercomputers trading against each other, and we'll never win that race. Conspiracy is conspiracy. I mean, you hear all this thing. What is my YouTube 2021 goals? Guys, my goal this year was literally to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of December 2021. And it's January, and we already doubled that and more. So you guys are killing it. We're doing very well. So I just hope to continue growing the channel, the Discord. I want to also find ways to interact with you guys, like, again, not just through typing dialogues, but also vocal, so we can at least hear one another and talk, have conversations, because I want to get to know everyone, especially the ones I see oftentimes. So yeah, we talked. Again, thank you all for tuning in. Eunice, you could just hit me up and let me know what she meant. The Discord link here. Let me just paste it in here for everyone that's not in. You could feel free to join us. We talk about all things stocks. I want to expand that to maybe start talking about. I want to kind of disclose my portfolio that YouTube stock. It's not a conspiracy, bro. High frequency trading. No, Tim, I know what you're talking about. But the fact that you're saying it's not all trading, that's the big keyword there. But let's see. Let me give you guys my link to the Discord right here. Copy, paste. You guys are all welcome. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. The Discord link is right there. It is 100% free, not even 1 cent. But all I ask is respect one another, be kind to one another, teach one another. And, remember, no one in there is a financial advisor. It's called Orlissa. I'll look into Orlissa, Eunice. Orlissa. FDA approved treatment. That's a gynecologist. Interesting. I'll have to look into this. A pill for endometriosis pain. So the indication that it has is for endometriosis. The thing that excites me currently, Eunice, for Linzagolix is the fact that it's in phase 3 clinical trials for uterine fibroids. So I don't know if Orlissa has some off-label indications for some of the other things you mentioned, but yeah. I'll do a more deep dive and then I'll communicate that in the Discord for sure. Do you have any other investments besides stocks? As of right now, guys, I got out of school literally like a year ago. So this is right now, it's all stocks. I have an IRA, so a retirement account, which if none of you guys do and your jobs offer it, get in on it because again, it's especially if they do employee matching, it's silly not to. It's going to be worth it, especially when you come to retire. But yeah, mainly just stocks right now. I don't do options tradings for anyone who's asked me about that. And work, what else do you do in your free time? Joe Rogan. I like to hang out with my wife. That's one thing I like to do. She's right over there. I enjoy playing basketball. I like weightlifting. And yeah, I do a lot more stuff. But anyway, thank you for your videos. Good night, Eunice. And everyone, thank you all for tuning in. The live stream lasted an hour, 10 minutes. This is when I should probably check out. I could stay on all night, but but I'm not going to do that. But guys, stay tuned. I want to start doing these more often. And thank you all. I appreciate each one of you. Message me on Discord. I try to respond my best. It might take some time, but I do try to respond if you send me a direct message. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And until next time, keep investing. Peace.